home favorites, what numbers do I use? How big of a deficit do they have after the first quarter or half? So I just did three generalizations for each. And I broke it down like this. You might as well put the chart up and I'll talk. The left hand is first quarters. I broke it down from 1 to 5 point deficit after one quarter, 6 to 10 point deficit, or if you trailed by 11 or more after the first quarter. And then you see in the middle, I had three home categories: homes between the threes, a home favorite of 3.5 to 8, and a home favorite of 8.5 or higher. On the right-hand side of the chart in the orange are the exact same deficits, but at halftime. And Teddy and Steve, we've talked about this all the time. When you do a chart like this, you want to see some consistencies. And take a look just quickly at the chart. The home between the threes, the home favorites, and the big home favorites of 8.5 or more. Each category is exactly what you want to see. The smallest percentage for those home teams that were in a pick'em game, the middle percentage for the small home favorites, and the best straight up records for those big home favorites. And you look down all 9 categories, it is completely consistent, which makes sense. If you're a home favorite of 8.5 or higher, even if you're down in the first quarter, or even if you're down in the first half, you are the superior team and you expect that team to come back. I'm going to just show one example. And as always, I'll put this on Twitter. I wrote a note this off season. I will actually do a much more detailed chart, breaking every category down with only a 1 or 2 point difference, so we can see if there is a better range on where to play. But let's take a look at an example. In the middle, home teams, when they're a home favorite of 8.5 or more, then I'm looking to the right. When they're down by 6 to 10 in the first half, those big favorites, even though they're down from 6 to 10 points, so your live betting situations, you might even be on a positive money line. Those teams have actually won 50.9%. So, I'm not sure how much you can get out of it if it's going to help you, but at least you know the answer. How many people have live bet and never know what the results are? You live bet, you hope you win, you hope you lose. But now this at least quantifies to a degree in what stages you are as a favorite when you're down after one quarter or down after one half.
So can we get that chart back up for 1 second? Because I do have a follow here for Ralph, and I'm going to give my takeaways to me, what stands out, this is my first look at this chart, but it stands out to me, if you're in a tight point spread range, the +3s to -3s, and you're down after the first quarter or the first half by margin, those aren't teams you want to ask to come back. But if the big favorites are down at the end of the first quarter, first half, those are teams you do want to ask to come back. Is that what the chart is saying to you, Ralph? Because that to me is the one thing that really stands out. Between the threes, when the points are between the threes, we ain't asking those teams to rally when they fall behind early. But we are going to do that for the big favorites.
Absolutely, Teddy. And, big favorites, take a look at big favorites. There's only been 38 in the last 4 years that have trailed by 11 or more in the first quarter. Well, if you're a big favorite and you're down by 11 or more, you're going to be getting a massive point spread record, or you're going to be plus money on the money line. And they've come back 18 out of 38 times to win straight up 47% of the time. So absolutely, like I said, I'll do a deeper dive in the summer. Obviously, we'll post the charts and we'll send them out to everyone. But it'll be interesting to see when I break them down into smaller categories. I'll do trailing by 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 9, and then I'll break down the money lines as well. So we'll get a more detailed context of maybe there is some cherry picking involved when we're looking at those big favorites.